I'm glad to welcome you to Atlanti Scientifici Giunti. The multimedia voyage we're offering you this time will be one of discovery of the human body, the most complicated, most perfect mechanism of the universe. You can select any one of 3 routes to get going on your voyage. The first will take you directly to an exploration of our body, and you can sail around as and where you please. The second route offers you a guided tour, a very comfortable trip that we've designed especially for you. Or you can choose the third route, learn how to use this interactive multimedia compact disc. Learn the keys, that is, the icons, the paths, all the tricks you need to know to sail around our atlas in the very best of ways. Good. You've chosen free navigation around the atlas. The next screen you'll be seeing will offer you a series of subjects to study more deeply. Just select one and do have a good voyage. The human body is able to sustain itself and move thanks to the skeleton, a system of hard, resistant parts called bones, and a system of elastic, flexible parts called cartilage formations, which also protect certain vital organs, sustain the body, and help it to move. The functions of the skeleton are possible because of the different shapes and articulations of its parts. By constitution, the bones grow in early life, and, as the years pass, they become hard and resistant, and take on their final forms with the apposition of a mineral component. The skeleton has more than 200 bones. Some of them are unique in shape and function and are called unpaired bones. Most bones, however, have partners. They are called paired bones and are arranged symmetrically to the vertical axis of the human body. At the top of the human body is the head, composed of the skull and the face. The skull is a bone box that contains and protects the cerebral mass. The skull has 8 flat bones: the frontal bone, the occipital bone, the The human body is At the top of the human body is the head, composed of the skull and the face. The skull is a bone box that contains and protects the cerebral mass. The skull has 8, that is, the human body is able to sustain itself. The spine of the human body is composed of bones called vertebrae, which form the vertebral column. The spine has 32 or 33 short bones of different shapes called vertebrae. Each vertebra consists of, from the head, we have the cervical region of the spine, the thoracic or The human body is able to sustain it. At the top of the human body is the head, composed of the skull and the face. The skull is a bone box that contains and protects the cerebral mass. The skull has The bones are joined by articulations and ligaments. Draw the insertion point towards the median axis of the body are in the circulatory apparatus, the venous system all of the body's activities, including mental activity. The human body is able to sustain itself and move thanks to the skull and the face. The anterior part of the head is called the face. The face, consisting of the superior mass and the inferior maxillary bone, has 14 bones. The superior mass, where we find the eye sockets, the cheekbones, and the nose, has 6 paired bones and 1 unpaired bone, the vomer, which separates the nasal fossae. The bones of the superior mass are joined directly with the bones of the and 3 projections or rib cage. The rib cage consists of anchored to the rib cage and to numerous bundles of. The human skeleton is flexible. X-rays enable us to observe the various articulation systems. In these pictures, we see the movements of the arm and the hand. Which consist of the pelvis, thigh, muscles, they make up 50% of the weight of the body and consist of a soft red mass commonly called flesh. To come into action. In fact, they're essential even for the tiniest movements of the fingers. The X-ray pictures has to nourish itself. The aperture that allows the end by means of the oral food introduced into the digestive system. The aim of digestion is to absorb alimentary substances, which is done almost totally in the small intestine. And to ensure the equilibrium of certain vital secretion and metabolism, pharynx and the larynx, and the passage of oxygen to the blood and closed in an extensible bone cage formed of ribs. The diaphragm them through takes place in reduced, compressing the lungs which expel air increases, each of which the gas oxide, the blood reaches the lung through the pulmonary artery. The alveoles is where the exchange takes place between oxyhemoglobin. Are constantly called the heart circulation, a pump, providing twice from the heart. In venous blood arrives in the left into the arterial system and returns almost in the middle of your chest. It's close to the lungs body.